And we are now being recorded. Welcome to the April 1st Curriculum Committee meeting. I would like to call the meeting to order at 2:32, April 1st, 2021. The first thing we are going to do is ask to approve the minutes from March 4th, 2021. Can I have a motion to approve? Second? Okay, thank you. Minutes are approved. We do not have Bill Griffin, I believe, was the second.
That's
Okay,
correct.
could you say your name, please? I can't.
Yeah, that was me, Bill Griffin.
Okay.
All right. We do not have any old business, so we are going to get ahead to the new business of the day. I am going to move one of the items up, one group of items up, simply because the faculty member presenting today is needing to get back to her class. So we are actually going to move to item 21-84 through 21-91, the ENT curriculum. Can I have a motion to approve item 21-84 through 21-91?
So moved, Michael.
Second, Justice.
Thank you. We have 8 revised curriculum from the ENT area. I will briefly state the name. We have 2 on this page, which is item 21-84 and 21-85, C248V, Engineering Tech Mechanical Design AAS, and Engineering Tech Mechatronics AAS. Both were to change to the guided program mapping. So C248V, C249V. We also, on this page, one got cut off a little bit at the top, and then several are here in the middle. We have item 21-A6, C348B, ENT Design Certificate, 21-87, C446I, ENT Electrical Certificate, item 21-88, C448S, ENT Fabrication Certificate, item 21-89, C44V, Mechatronics Certificate, 21-90, C448Y, Welding Certificate, and item 21-91, C548E, the CAD Advanced Certificate. And Antigone is here to present those. Antigone, I believe they were all changed to the guided program mapping.
Correct. Yes, they were.
All right. And anything else you want us to know about these items?
Outside of the other element about changing, the credit hour got dropped for the first aid and CPR class. Is that part of this conversation?
I think they were revised last time, but I could make another announcement. Now, you know, the CPR class, HCH 281, was in, I believe, 4 of these certificates. The credit hour was reduced from 2 to 1, so we increased the electives from whatever number you had plus 1.
Got it. Okay, then we're good to go. So
Jill, did you have a comment, Jill?
I'm sorry, not about Antigone's.
Oh, okay. All right.
Cool.
Any questions for Antigone? Antigone, did I interrupt you? Did you want to say something else?
No, I just wanted to say, are we all good? Because they're
we're
climbing
gonna
up
go.
next to me.
Actually,
We're good?
we're going to go. We're going to vote. We are going to vote on item 21-84 through 21-91. All in favor, please raise your hand. Susie, tell me when you're ready. I think that's probably
Got
good.
to unmute. Yes, we're okay.
Okay, well, lower your hands. Is there any opposed to those items? Okay, those items have passed. Thank you, Antigone. You're good. All right, we are going to the first page of the agenda now, item 21-60 through 21-64. We have graphic design. and digital photography curriculum. We have 4 curriculum, 1 revised course. The curriculum is 21-60C, 248C, graphic design, 21-61C, 249C, digital photography, 21-62C, 348C, graphic design certificate, and then 21-63C, 3480, digital photography certificate. So we have 2 revised degrees, 2 revised certificate to update to the guided program mapping. And then the last item, 21-64, is a revised course, VIC 288, video editing. And Jill is here to present those. Jill, did you want to say something? I'm sorry, I didn't have a motion to approve these items. Can I have a motion to approve 21-60 through 21-64?
So moved, Michael.
And a second?
Second, Glenn.
Thank you. Jill, did you have something to comment on these items?
Yes, on the slide, I know I submitted the paperwork correctly, but on the slide where it says added, like see when it's like C348C graphic design certificate and it says added art 170, that's all actually deleted because it went from 48 to 30. There's no electives in the certificate.
Okay.
So that's, I think the wording is just off because I know I submitted it correctly. So I think it's just this slide. And then the digital photography certificate, it actually is 30 credit hours, not 36. The original one I had submitted was 36, and then I met with the deans, and we trimmed that one down to 30, which you also have the paperwork for. Would you prefer I like resubmit it again, or?
No, you know what? I may not have just updated my little slide here. So we're looking at the digital photography certificate to be 30 credit hours.
Correct.
And I can update that.
Work and the last paperwork I turned in to you guys. Yep.
Okay. And then you deleted the art classes, and then also did you delete the rest of these classes that are listed here?
Yeah, there's no more electives. There was originally going to be an elective in the certificates, and then we trimmed it way down to 30. So neither certificate has an elective. The electives come into play with the AAS degrees.
Okay, thank you.
But I promise
So-
the paper's all organized.
So these, the graphic design certificate, digital photography certificate, both 30 credit hours.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any questions for Jill? All right, good job, Jill. Thank you. All in favor, please raise your hand for items 21-60 through 21-64. Okay, Susie?
Yes, we're okay.
Okay, thank you. You could lower your hands. Any opposed to these items? All right, good job, Jill. Thank you. I know it took you a couple months, but great job on those.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, we're moving on now to item 21-65 through 21-67. We have ophthalmic and radiographic curriculum. Can I have a motion to approve 21-65 through 21-67?
So moved, Michael.
Can I have a second?
Second, Glenn.
Thank you. We have C217I, ophthalmic technician, C217C, radiologic technology. Both are revised curriculum. And we also have the last item, 21-67, RAS 232, radiographic anatomy, and I think it's positioning 3, RAS 232, which is a course. I have that on a separate page. I would rather just keep up this slide on the curriculum. So is Lisa and or Mary here to present these?
Lisa's here.
Okay, thank you. I have, for the ophthalmic technician, I have, you added BIS 240 as an option, and is it ALH edition as an option as well?
Yes, AHL 120 and 202. We have lower level courses already required in the curriculum, but because we have many students transferring from other health careers that take those higher level courses, I wanted to include them so it would be a little easier transition.
Thank you. And is Mary here for the radiographic? We have C217C. It looks like it was updated to guided program mapping. I know that RAS 232 had a change in prerequisite.
Yes, I am here.
Okay. Anything you'd like to contribute to that or present?
No, the curriculum change for RAS 232 was simply deleting a co-requisite that is not offered in that semester but is offered the following semester. So that was the only thing that I had to add.
Okay. All right. Does anyone have questions on these three items? All in favor of items 21-65 through 21-67, please raise your hand.
Waiting for a couple more to vote. Okay, we're good.
Thank you. You could lower your hands. Any opposed? No opposed to those three items? Okay, thank you. All right, we're going to move to item 21-68. Can I have a motion to approve CSG 296, special topics in counseling? Can I have a motion to approve?
So moved, Michael.
Second.
Second, Glenn.
Thank you. This is a course revision. CSG 296, special topics in counseling. They added the GECC outcomes, the 5 new outcomes, and Sandra, I believe, is here to present.
I'm here. That's a class that if something new comes up or current topic, we will then use that class or test something out before we actually make it continuously.
Okay.
So I just really updated it.
Okay, thank you. And it is now updated to the GECC, the new GECC outcomes that the college has set. Does anyone have any questions for Sandra? All right, all in favor of item 21-68, the revision of CSG 296, raise your hand.
We need John Cody, Kevin Lee.
John Cody, you're coming up next, so maybe he's thinking about his curriculum. He's got it now. You good?
Sorry. I was looking at something in email here from Julianne, and I got distracted.
Okay. You could lower your hands. Any opposed to CSG 296? And that revision has passed. Thank you. We are moving on to items 21-69 through 21-70 from John Cody. Can I have a motion to approve the certified medical assistant curriculum?
So moved, Michael.
Second.
Second, Glenn.
Okay, thank you. We have CMA 101. This is item 21-70. Intro to medical assisting. I should put it this way. It did include lab credits, and now it no longer will. It is only going to be lecture. I believe, and John might correct me if I'm wrong, it's now 2 lecture hours in all, 2 total credits and 2 lecture. And then you also have one curriculum, which is C318A certified I'm maybe on the wrong page. Certified medical assistant for a revised curriculum.
Correct. All we're
Okay,
doing
I
is
don't-
just, I'm expanding what is acceptable for anatomy and physiology. So typically, historically, it was BIS 190, but students can acquire the knowledge they need from BIS 101, 136, and 240. And that will relieve the science faculty from having to offer that course, particularly when enrollment is low. But they generally have adequate enrollment in those other 3 anatomy classes, and that's sufficient for my students.
Okay. Thank you. Does anyone have questions for John on the revised certified medical assistant curriculum or the revised course of CMA 101, which is moving to lecture only? Okay, can I have all in favor of items 21-69 through 21-70, raise your hand.
Okay, we're good.
Lower your hands. Any opposed? Thank you. We are now moving on to items 21-71 through 21-82. These are revised curriculum for accounting, business, human resources. I'll itemize them in 1 minute. Can I have a motion to approve these 12 items?
So moved, Michael.
Second?
Second, Glenn.
Okay, thank you. So we have item 21-71 through 82. C206A, Accounting Finance AAS. C206B, Business Management AAS. C206J, Human Resources AAS. C306A, Accounting Assistant Certificate. C306B, Business Management Certificate. C306F, Human Resource Management Certificate. C306K, Financial Services Certificate. C307D, Executive Administrative Assistant Certificate. C406D, Entrepreneurship Certificate. C407D, Administrative Assistant Certificate. C416A, Bookkeeping Certificate. And C501A, Certified Public Accountant Pathway Advanced Certificate. And Bill Griffin is here to present the 12 revised curriculum that were updated to guided program mapping. Bill, would you like to comment on these?
No real comment, Julie, as you stated, just updated it to fit in with the guided pathway program.
They all look great. Does anyone have questions? Okay, all in favor of items 21-71 through 21-82, please raise your hand.
We're okay.
Okay, you can lower your hands. Any opposed? Thank you. Those have passed. Can I have a motion to approve item 21-83, which is U224A16 Modern Language AA?
So moved, Michael.
Second?
Second, Glenn.
Thank you. And I believe Bill Decker is here. It is a revision of the Modern Language AA to the guided program mapping. A couple of classes were deleted out of there. I think the classes were deleted, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, all that
Any
is updating the map to reflect the change that already happened.
Okay. Any questions from anyone? All right. Can I have all in favor of item 21-83? Raise your hand. The Modern Language AA U224A16.
Okay, we're good.
You can lower your hands. Thank you. Any opposed? Okay, that has passed. Thank you. We've done items 21-84 through 21-91, so we are moving on to items 21-92 through 21-97. They are CIS curriculum and courses. Can I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second, Glenn.
Second. Thank you. Okay, we have item 21-92, C207S, Cybersecurity and Information AAS, which will be 60 to 62 credit hours. Item 21-93, C407S, which is Cybersecurity and Information Assurance Certificate. That is moving to 24 credit hours. Item 21-94 is revised course CIS 210, Data Communication Networking. CIS item 21-95, CIS 216, Intro to Networks. Item 21-96 is CIS 250, which is being deleted. Up here. And item 21-97, CIS 253, Advanced Visual Basics Programming. CIS 253 is where? 253 here. I'm sorry. So with the deletion, they're deleting CIS 250, and the content for that CIS 250 course is going into CIS 253 with updated prerequisites as well. I believe Michael is here to present this. Would you like to comment on that?
Yeah, hold on. Okay, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, I'm having audio trouble. I'm driving. Anyway, yeah, the Visual Basic thing. Basically, it's just the demand for the technology is decreased. So we, instead of having 2 Visual Basic courses, we're just consolidating them into 1. So 253 will now cover the essentials of both of them.
Okay. Thank you.
250 was also not really directly used in any of our programs, so that's why we stuck with 253, because it was. So it was less work to keep that course number.
Thank you. I did have one thing I wanted to clarify. CIS 210, I believe you're changing the course description of CIS 210.
Yes.
Yeah, you updated the course description and the prerequisite. You mentioned something, and I'm not familiar with this, that it's no longer needed for CCNA certificate.
Right.
What is the CCNA certificate?
Okay, the CCNA is Cisco's Certified Network Associate certification. And it used to be that when 210 was first created years ago, it was originally a Cisco course, and it was part of our old Cisco concentration because of that. But it was reworked a few years ago so that it's no longer Cisco material. So what we've done is we've made a new sequence of courses for the Cisco certification, and we've turned 210 into something that's a little more vendor neutral.
All right, and then so CIS 216 is Intro to the CCNA. You're using that as one of the Cisco courses?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Thank you. Is that the only course for this? It would be, I'm sorry, I'm getting this. It would be CIS 216. Is there any other course in that Cisco?
Yeah, 217 and 218. It's a 3-part sequence.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying that. I don't know if anyone else had a question on that, but I just wanted to make sure that I knew what was going on. Any questions then for Michael on these courses? Or I believe the revised curriculum with cybersecurity AAS and cybersecurity certificate. Any questions? For cybersecurity AAS, guided program mapping, and you can see the classes that were added or deleted. And then the cybersecurity certificate, same thing, guided program mapping. I know you did a lot. I just don't want to miss anything. There was also a change in prerequisite. I believe you added an additional course for prerequisite courses.
There were some prereqs that were already required, but they were hidden. So when we revised it, we just sort of unhid them. You know, we added them to the program explicitly.
Okay, so it says now CIS 101 or 102 for both of these.
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions for him? All right. Then, all in favor of items 21-92 through 21-97, please raise your hand.
Okay, we're good.
Thank you. Lower your hands. Any opposed? All right. Thank you very much, Michael. We're moving on to items 21-98 through 21-100, which is music revised courses. Can I have a motion to approve 21-98 through 21-100?
So moved. Michael.
Second?
Second, Glenn.
Glenn, second. Thank you. We have 3 revised courses: Music 250 Concert Band, Music 253 Ensemble, and Music 266 Jazz Band. The music haven't been updated in a while, and these are the first, I believe, that are coming to us. Added the GEC outcomes, updated course description, and then minor updates in topics and learning outcomes. It looks like the ensemble has removed the prerequisite. And I believe, is Salvador here to present these?
Yes, I am.
Thank you. Did you want to add anything on these 3?
Just also that we no longer offer the Associate of Fine Arts, so we removed that from the course description as well. Just minor revisions to the learning objectives for all 3 of them. It's been a while since they've been updated, so.
Well, thank you. Thank you. It's great that you did this. Any questions for Salvador? Okay, so all in favor of items 21-98 through 21-100, raise your hand.
Okay, we're good.
And lower your hands. Any opposed? Thank you. Those items have passed. Okay, 4 more revised curriculum.
Thank you.
Thank you. 4 more revised curriculum. We have items 21-101 through 21-104 CJA curriculum. Can I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second, Glenn.
Thank you. Item 21-101 is C243A. This one might be on the other page. 243A, Criminal Justice Administration AAS was changed to the guided program mapping. We have C443A, CJA Correction Certificate. Item 21-103, C443B, CJA Law Enforcement Certificate, and item 21-104, C443C, CJA Private Security Certificate, all updated to the guided program mapping. And Greg is here to present that. Do you have anything else to add, Greg?
No, that's it. Thank you. We're going to have a few more things for the next curricular mapping. I mean, the next curricular meeting, rather. We have a couple new certificates that we're creating, but I'll have those for you. I'll have those to Jennifer by next week, but other than that, we're good.
All right, that's good news. Good to hear. Thank you for doing this work. And all in favor of items 21-101 through 21-104, please raise your hand.
We're good.
Lower your hands. Any opposed? Okay, and those items have passed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. We are done with that new business. We're moving on to other items, and just updating this list. We are making a lot of progress on the courses, and we also are making a lot of progress on the curriculum. Susie has compiled a list of the curriculum that has already been submitted to the guided program mapping format. Some programs are still going to be coming for May. Just a reminder to faculty as well as the deans that we would like the guided program mapping revisions, if they haven't been submitted yet, to come to the May meeting. I don't have the deadline on the top of my head. Susie, do you know for the May meeting when that deadline is? I could look it up otherwise.
April 12th.
Thank you. April 12th. That is a long time from now. And so we were making lots of progress. Faculty is doing a great job with their revised courses as well as the curriculum. The first other item I have for today is to show you what we hope to be the final curriculum mapping templates. I know that a lot have come through as of this time. And the mapping templates have been continually updated this semester as not necessarily errors were found, but better ways to communicate to the students what we felt were essential curriculum pathways or ideas. So there were some changes. The curriculum committee worked with the steering committee for this guided mapping template, and we have come up with what we're hoping is the final version. I'm going to share them briefly. You know, they're going to look the same for the degrees. Yeah, I'm not sure if I zoom in, if you can see it, but if you need to zoom in further, there is that little symbol on the upper left side of your screen. I guess it looks kind of like a square with a circle in the center of it if you needed to zoom in. But Susie did a great job combining all the important forms together. So this is what our curriculum proposal form will look like, and this is the AS degree, and it's going to look very similar to many of you. The curriculum proposal page looks the same. Oh, I gotta slip. We have the program mapping rubric included in this that I presented a couple of months ago. Next we have, and this is all one document as of now, we have our maps. And this is where a lot of the work was changing. Susie, isn't there that prereq box at the top here?
No, that was replaced by that paragraph, placement measures.
Okay. Okay. And so here you see the mapping for semester 1 through semester 4. If there are program electives, they will be listed here. Faculty will fill out the coursework here. There are some notes. We have notes on the number of gen ed courses. I believe the human diversity note is included in here. Foreign language is encouraged if transferring. This is the old format, if that program still is using that and has not updated. And then lastly, the assessment mapping. It's important that these are all in one document as of now so that people do not forget if they're updating a course that the assessment map needs to be updated as well, and we don't lose sight of that. So this is the new template. This is the new template for the AS, and the other ones are going to look similar. Here's the AA. I don't want to bore everyone, but this is, why does this say AS again? Did I click on the wrong file? Where's my AA?
I think that version has a typo.
So, okay, we'll just update that then. So it should be the AA. Let me make sure that the gen eds look correct then. And I can say, I felt like as a reviewer in the curriculum committee, and hopefully TRC members believe the same, that it was actually easier to identify the gen ed courses because this category column was listed. So I could tell what was a gen ed and kind of count from there, making sure that they fulfilled all the gen eds. Yeah, this is AA because it's got the humanities course, the fine arts course, and then the humanity fine art course. And then you'll see the map for assessment at the end. Do we want to look at all of them? I have them all here. AAS, and then we have curriculum, and we have certificate, and then GECC. So here's the AAS. And then the certificate. Everybody is so quiet. No comments or questions. This is for the extra column for stackable certificate. If the certificate course that we're listing in semester 1 also counts towards a degree, you can list that here. I feel that this is optional for any program. You know, I have a certificate that matches with a degree, or you may feel like you want to do that where the degree can also give you a certificate. So that's an extra column to incorporate if the faculty deem that they would like to do that. Any questions or comments? I'll pull up the GECC while I'm waiting to see if anybody has questions. They all look the same. GECC. I have not even actually reviewed this GECC. So general education core. Went a little too fast. Where's the first semester? Here, first semester, you'll see just the gen eds. Kevin?
No, I just want to give a shout out to Susie. She took the initiative to contact ICCB and get clarifications to put this together. So good job to you, Susie.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Susie. It's important that the curriculum committee realizes that these forms have to be ready to go ASAP. I was going to say today, but ASAP. We are working with Watermark to get these templates on their platform. And we want to make sure we do it right with this initial migration. Not that I can say will be perfect, but we want it to look as best as possible when we migrate to Watermark. If you already submitted your curriculum and there was some slight changes to the template, but no curriculum changes, then we're going to have updates just to the template, but not to the curriculum. I don't know if anyone was questioning that. Do I have any other comments or questions on these templates? Susie, if you wouldn't mind, maybe we can share them. I don't know if they're in the packet. If I missed them, but I didn't see them in the packet, I could share them to all the curriculum committee members.
Which do you need now?
I'm just saying the templates, were they in the packet today? Otherwise, I can email them to the.
I could send them out separate.
Okay. Yeah, if we could just send them out in case somebody wants to review them, that would be great. If you do see something from your viewpoint that needs correction, please let us know. We were working with the steering committee to make sure that everything was covered.
Okay.
Okay, next other item. I'm actually going to go to other item number 3 right now, which is a standardized syllabus template. let me backtrack. I will comment briefly on this other item number 2, which is board policy 6080, requirement of course learning outcomes to be included on all syllabi. I am going to comment on it quickly and then move to the next other item. The board policy right now is under number 3. It says under the course description that the syllabus should have a course description from the catalog, II designation as indicated, and then course outcomes. This did cause a bit of confusion for people, whether that was overall course outcome or topical course outcomes. And we just compared that to what the ICCB states. In the ICCB statement for syllabi, it says that it should have specific objectives of the course. The IAI statement for syllabi, the syllabi should contain student learning outcomes. So the little different verbiage going on between our board policy and what ICCB and IAI recommends. I spoke to several faculty members, and just to ensure that we have the same language, we are contemplating on the course outline, the area which reads topical learning outcomes would change to student learning outcomes, so that we realize that those are the outcomes the students will be meeting and achieving for each topic. Do you understand which area I'm actually referring to? Otherwise, I can try to show you on a curriculum. I don't know if I have a course outline open. Let me do it this way. I can share my screen really quickly. This will take 1 moment. My first revised course was video editing, page 40. Let me see if I can get up to that. Are you all still with me? My computer froze.
Yep.
Okay. So this area where it says topical learning outcomes, we are thinking of changing that to student learning outcomes. Does anyone have any contribution, comment, criticism for that?
I think
Coming
that's a
back,
good idea.
coming back to you guys. Michael? And I'm sorry, who said it was a good idea?
Tracy.
Thank you, Tracy. Okay, Michael?
Well, I just want to follow up what I said. Last time I said perhaps I was the only faculty member who didn't understand this because I didn't, and I don't want to sound like I felt blindsided. It was just simply that when I saw it I thought I understood it until then. I was not. I would say the author of this did not understand that that's what it meant. So, I think right now we've really got to get our terms clear. I don't think Senate knew that's what they were voting for. To my mind, that means Senate didn't vote for it. I'm not saying Senate has to, but I don't think they knowingly did. So yeah, I think we have to make some changes and really kind of stick with this is what we're going to call these things now, unless the II or ICCB says we have to change them, and of course we do. But I think we need to really get something solid here if we're going to, if we're going to say that people are wrong or have done something wrong if they're not doing this.
Right, and I don't think anyone truly did anything. It was wrong purposely, but it was the interpretation of this course outcomes. Some of us interpreted it as overall learning outcome, and some of us interpreted it as topical learning outcomes. So that's where the discrepancy, I believe, came from. And I don't want to spend a lot of time on this right now because I think I have a solution which might fulfill the board policy plus will be best for the faculty and students. And I just wanted to show you this slide real quick. And then I know, Sue, you do have your hand up. Let me just comment real quickly on this. The curriculum committee Susie and I are going to propose updating or combining the course outline form with the syllabus template that Beth created with her academic standards committee. That syllabus template has been online for a couple of years now. I believe in the Center for Teaching Excellence. Faculty have always, I would say for the past 5-10 years, I actually pulled up an email from like 2014 where there was conversation about creating a syllabus template, which was optional for faculty to use. But what we're proposing is to combine the course outline that we all utilize with the syllabus template to make it user-friendly for both the faculty and the students. The form is going to be, the one form that we're going to propose is going to be used in place of the course outline. And it will be called the departmental syllabus. It will have everything that's required of the course outline, plus additional information from a syllabus template that the faculty member could customize and personalize and tailor for themselves so that they are ensured academic freedom. The form is going to include everything that the ICCB requires, plus the information that is on the syllabus template currently. I believe, and this is my opinion, not from the committee, but just from myself, that if we standardize the syllabus, it will help the students. We're not talking about restricting anything the teacher does in terms of assignments and lessons and weekly organization of the course, but simply to have some standardization in this departmental syllabus, so that when students take 5 classes, they have some conformity in their head that they will be able to utilize this syllabus better in order to achieve success. So that's going to be my proposal. We don't have one ready to show you today because it's really, really rough draft. We have started on it, but what we're thinking is we're going to create this new template, get input from the entire curriculum committee. We're going to also get input from Beth's committee, which is the academic standards. We are also going to get input from the assessment committee to make sure that the terminology and the outcomes that we have on the document are uniform and everyone understands them. So we're going to get as many faculty to look at the draft as possible. If we bring it to those 3 committees, and if we could come to a consensus, then bring that to the Senate. So I am going to stop now. Sue has her hand up, and then we'll take other comments and questions.
Hi, thanks, Julianne. Just a few points to make. If you've been here on campus for any period of time, you realize that there sometimes is not consistency amongst different departments or different areas of the college. If you look for the term course outcomes, it does not exist on any curriculum forms. It does not exist on any assessment forms. That's the terminology used on the board policy. So that's kind of a misnomer, trying to connect that with what it means. So I am very much in favor of Julianne changing it to student learning outcomes. That language is used in assessment and would tie curriculum to assessment. And I think for anybody that comes to the college, that makes a lot more sense because that's the lingo that everybody is using these days. I love the idea of a department syllabus. I think that's very beneficial in many reasons, but also to help support our adjuncts. We all recognize that adjuncts sometimes get assigned courses at the last minute. I know that they will take any support and assistance that they can provide. And if it's got the objectives on there, excuse me, I just used the wrong word. It's supposed to have outcomes on there. That helps them recognize what they need to teach. This is really going to provide clear language for everybody across the campus and provide some uniformity. And it really comes down to an equity issue that all students kind of get the same semblance of support from each one of their courses. So I appreciate the work that all the committees are doing to champion this, to try and get everybody on the same page of understanding. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I have to echo that statement that put yourself in a student's shoes. I went to Triton, but put yourself in a student's shoes who is brand new at college and they take 5 classes and they're given 5 completely different formatted syllabi. And it's going to take them a long time to figure out where the information is in the syllabi. Some information may be there, some information may not be there. So we're just talking about making one template that is standardized with what's required of a syllabus, but also free enough that the faculty member could tailor it and personalize it to their needs. And I do think that will help the students tremendously. But that, again, that's my comments on this. I would love to hear from other people.
I do have a question. So curriculum committee would be the group that would be approving this, or would this be academic support?
We are the ones drafting it, but I would like approval from not only the curriculum committee, but also from the, is it academics support and standards? I don't know if I'm saying the committee wrong from Beth. I apologize, Beth, if I am. And then also the assessment committee, I'd like them to look at this as well. We want as much input and collaboration on this as possible so no one's blindsided. So, you know, as many people could make sure that it's going to work for us. If all 3 committees agree, and I'm open if someone thinks they're being left out, if all 3 committees agree, we could present it to the Senate.
So we're drafting it, and then we would have them approve it then as well after we finish our final draft, correct?
The Senate would approve? Is that what you're asking me?
And also, we as curriculum committee, we would create this, then once we're done with it, the other 2 committees approve it, then it goes to academic senate, correct?
That is my proposal.
Okay, I back that.
Just another, and I could be biased on this. I always look at the pros and cons of everything, but I could be a bit biased on this. When I hire an adjunct, or if I have an adjunct that I'm giving a class they've never taught to before, I hand them the course outline and say, this is the course, this is what you're teaching, and these are the outcomes. And then they typically draft their syllabus based off of that. So if we have this one form, the base of the syllabus is done, but then they just put in how they want to tailor their course and personalize their course, as opposed to having 2 different documents. And Susie could tell you, for the 20 years that I've worked with Susie, with the II classes, she has to send 2 forms to the state. She has to send the course outline and the syllabus, and in this way they would be combined, and we wouldn't be missing anything in our submissions to on II classes to the state. Okay, John.
So what I'm hearing is that we're going beyond just making specific requirements of the content of the syllabi, but the actual format of the syllabi as well. So things will be listed in a particular order, and that faculty will be required to follow that order. Is that correct?
I wouldn't say mandated to require it. The only thing that would be mandated would be the essential things that have to be on the board, that have to be in the syllabus based off of the board policy. Faculty can tailor it the way they like. I just think for uniformity's sake, it would benefit our students to see things in the same place. But if a faculty member really felt like they needed to move one of the items around within the document, I don't see any rules that would say, no, you can't do that. And certainly I've stated this to many faculty members. When you look at a course outline, there's maybe say 15 topics and they're in order. It doesn't mean you have to teach them in order. You can move those around based on week to week to week. You can change the due dates and so forth.
Sure. Okay. I mean, that seems fine to me. I see the value in standardizing syllabi. On the other hand, I see the value of just as long as the syllabus has the requisite information on it, where it's placed, in what order, seems to be a little bit too much overreach to require. But then again, what do I know?
Well, and I do want to comment on this, and it may make you feel a little bit better. The document that we're creating, which will be called departmental syllabus, the one that combines course outline and syllabus template, is not going to be required or mandated for everyone to use. It's going to be done and be utilized as the course outline is utilized now, but it'll be a tool that faculty can use, and I hope could find the value in ease of using it. And I say, well, I'm just going to tailor it the way I want it, with my information, with my name, my office, my rules, my due dates, my assignments, my readings. And it might be of easier use for the faculty. But it's not going to be, to my knowledge, completely mandated and required. You have to use this. It's a tool that's available. If the faculty member wants to start from scratch and make their own, I believe that will still be allowed as long as they include the board policies. Does that help at all? Derek? I'm sorry, John, did you want to comment on that back? Maybe I went too fast.
No, I just said yes, thank you. That clarifies it for me.
Okay, thanks. Derek?
I think from a dean's perspective, administrator's perspective, I mean, I'm glad that we're having the conversation. I think everyone there are a lot of people who like the idea of like standardized syllabi, and especially for a syllabi to give new adjuncts. I've used this example this week of when I first started as an adjunct, they gave me the departmental syllabi and I filled it out and just kind of used that as I got my feet wet. Helps with the standardization of classes, helps so students know what they're looking at, etc. And having those learning outcomes listed is so important. I think this conversation is great, but it also goes hand in hand with the point that you raised, John, about like the mandatory nature of it. I think as much as I personally would love to see standardized syllabi across the board, I think ideologically the not making a requirement is more important. So I would just say like we're like collectively engaging in this endeavor in order to, work toward a solution befitting of, shared governance, and kind of like our identity as a college and our academic identity as a college. So I just say that because I know one of the aspects of conversations like these is like, oh, the administration wants to require us to do something else. And personally, I would rather circumvent that and just have a conversation and continue the conversation with a more collaborative approach from an administrator's perspective, because ultimately, I really think that, faculty have to work toward a solution and ownership of this in the end.
I agree totally. And I don't want any faculty to say that the curriculum committee or the chair of the curriculum is dictating this. I want the faculty to create a document that's going to work best for us as faculty and best for the student. I feel that this proposal is one way to get there, and I'm willing to listen to all the faculty members on my committee as well as the input of the other committees so that we can get to that final goal. Yes, Bill.
So I don't know, I'm going to ask this question. I don't know the pros and cons to it. What would the con be to this, creating this set of template that the vice president brings as a board policy? Then this way we have it and we identify certain areas are always editable per academic freedom.
All right, so what's the con of using it? Is that your question?
Mandating it.
Oh, mandating it. Well, maybe somebody else wants to answer. I certainly can, but I'd like input from others. Does somebody have a comment on that? What would be a con of doing this?
Well, from my perspective, and this is a problem when you're an old salt and you have a certain way of doing things and formatting things. For example, my students are a cohort, so I don't get anybody outside of my program. All of my syllabi are designed the same. The students get accustomed to that format, so that's not really an issue. Now, again, from administrative perspective, I do understand making it standardized, because when Pam has to look at all the syllabi, it's nice if everything is in the same order, and she gets used to seeing things the way they are, and she could probably scrutinize it much more efficiently. On the other hand, I understand that if you have, all of the liberal arts faculty and they're all doing something different, and students are taking various courses from different departments, it might get a little tedious. Like for example, I know that you, Julianne, did you say you like to have a 30-page syllabus?
For one of my classes, not all.
Okay. Well, my syllabi are generally 3 pages. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's just that I don't go into as much detail as some folks might be. And of course, usually the reason you go into so much detail is that there's a lot of confusion and students misinterpret or they apply the rules inappropriately or whatnot. I just don't have that issue. So I don't have to be as detailed as maybe some of my colleagues do. But I guess it just depends. I mean, it's more of a stylistic thing. And I just become accustomed to the way that so it's really more of a selfish thing. So the con.
Are you still there? Oh, I think we've lost him. Oh, John, let me just echo something in case John can come back quickly. But the standardization really helps students. I think more so than we realize. I always tell my students I don't want them to be wasting time or lost trying to find stuff. I want them to spend their time learning. And so in John's case of his syllabus all being the same in uniform, his students don't have that issue and it works. And I think that's kind of like support for what we're doing here, because many of our students take classes in different departments. And so there are 5 different syllabus for 5 different courses. So it could be challenging for a student. And I think anything we can do to help ease their time and make it more comfortable to be at our, within our curriculum would be helpful. Michael?
Yeah, I think, what John was saying with his cohort, I mean, that is different. And teaching in a cohort versus teaching a gen ed class are two different worlds. When, and sometimes, and John clearly understands this, I have had experience with people who do not, who, can't imagine why we can't just do in English what they're doing in a room full of people who are all majoring in the course they teach. We have teaching almost no one, especially the rhetoric courses. A great deal of the students would gladly do about anything to get out of that requirement if they could. So, it's a very different thing. I'm very open to seeing what we come up with, Julianne. I think as far as the cons of it, it is, academic freedom is a word gets one of those things that probably gets overused to the point where it loses some of its poignancy. But I do think, like in a subject like English, I would never readily agree to like a master syllabus or today is the day you're going to do this kind of syllabus, because I think that would actually be bad for everyone, including the students. The instructors need to have some flexibility. They need to be able to think on their feet a little bit. I don't want to see it get so structured that we can't do that. That we just become, throw a name from the past. I know Cheryl Antonich always thought her dream would be if she walked down the hall and the same subject being taught, she'd hear part of the sentence from one instructor and the next one. I just could never convince her that would not only not be possible, would be a really bad thing. The feeling I think there, of course, was that, if we had more control, we would have less problems. But I'm not sure that's true in all subjects. They're all very different. So I would say if there's a con, that's what it is, that people get so that they can't. I think your microphone's on. I'm hearing myself in delay. that they can't work with, that they can't work with what works for them for teaching. It has to be, if we have to ask ourselves how much trust do we have in the instructors. Now, for a brand new adjunct, yeah, I'm already kind of there. I hand them a syllabus and say, you can change the readings, you can mess with this, but here's how the course works. And I do think they're glad to have that at first. I'm not sure that's true when most of my adjuncts now have been around quite a while. I've had a pretty lucky, and that I've had a pretty steady group. So I think, as people stay with us, they're going to want to make changes, especially if something's not working for them. So I suppose that's what it is. But I don't want to, I don't want to prejudge anything. I'm real open to seeing what you come up with.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm definitely for a form or template that is flexible. It includes what's in the board policy and what's mandated by ICCB and IAI, but it's flexible. And one of the things I think of is the topics, which match to those learning outcomes. But there are some topics that it takes me 2 weeks to get through, and then there's some topics that I get through in 1 day. So I'm going to cover 2 topics or 3 topics in that time period. So the faculty definitely will have that flexibility. No one wants to take that away. I want to, say that right now. I think this is going to be a big win for letting the adjuncts as well as the full-time faculty realize the topics on the course outline, the topics that are on that course outline need to be taught and addressed, but they can do so in many different ways as long as that topic is taught and those outcomes are achieved. Or at least the student is given the chance to achieve those outcomes. We'll put it that way. Anyone else? So hopefully Susie and I will have a draft. We have one now. It's so rough, though. I don't want to show it to anybody because I don't want to cause more problems. But hopefully we will have a draft that I could actually send out by email to the curriculum committee ahead of time. We could potentially look at that in May. I know Beth is here. I will be working with Beth and her committee throughout this. When we're ready to go, we can bring in assessment or others. I know, Bill, you would probably be, your hand is up, but you would probably be an advocate as well for the adjuncts. So do you want to comment on that?
Well, yeah, I mean, the adjunct world, it's funny. I will admit, from when I see a lot of the adjuncts show up to the in-service, adjuncts have no clue how to make a syllabus. I mean, that's one thing I've noticed, especially the newer adjuncts. 2, something I was thinking about. I avoided this problem in the fire science area and EMT area. We made a standardized template and just built it from there for every course. Instructors built from theirs. I was wondering how many program areas are doing something similar to that? Because I know I stole it off somebody else here at college. I forgot who it was. And I give them credit. I just don't remember who it was. But I'm wondering how widespread are we already at doing this, and maybe take some of those as examples to build up the product.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't do it in mine. Anyone have an example of another department that has a standardized syllabus? Okay. So VIC uses the template that's already there. I'll tell you what, when I started 21 years ago, there was no template, so I built my own. When the template came out, I had a new course to build, and I used that template, and it worked great for me.
The current template.
Yeah, I really appreciate the value.
I was just I'll let John back in. I didn't know he was talking. I just want to quick add that the template that we currently have is the one that came through Senate, which an understanding now is, out. So right now that's probably not helpful because that's what I used and and followed. So I think that if that one's not good, then I guess we got to look at something else. Sorry,
Oh, I'm not sure why it wouldn't be good. We're just kind of combining it. Was there an error that found in it?
Well, yeah, some of the stuff that it's really come down to what you said at the beginning, Julianne, definitions. I mean,
Yeah.
we passed something and Beth had a syllabus, a sample syllabus, and the CTE put it up. It wasn't the CTE, it came out of Senate. I don't want to get CTE involved in this because all they did was agree to put it up for us. And a lot of us have been using it because it is what went through the Senate, but it does not include all the things that we're talking about here. So if
The
someone
terminology.
the terminology, it certainly does not make anyone think they're going to do those topic outlines you were saying. I mean, if somebody does, it's because they have a different definition of the word,
Right.
So that's where we have to if we're gonna do this, we have to really. That's what I said at the beginning. It's another example of it. We really have to agree on a terminology and be consistent with it, or you can't really blame people if if they use the same term for a different meaning and it's from something in this college that they do. So we really have to get our definitions straight if this is going to work.
Yes, I agree. Thank you. Sue?
Hi, just to piggyback on what Michael had said about the course outline that CTE has posted. The language on that says all topics and learning outcomes from the course outline must be included in the course. Again, learning outcomes, does that mean topical learning outcomes or overall learning outcomes? When the language is not specific, it leaves room for interpretation and then not doing the same practice. So again, we need to get the same language on all of our forms to make it a lot easier for us to all understand.
And before Susie and I continue on that work, is there any opposition to changing that topical learning outcome to student learning outcomes in that one specific area? Because that's what it would be shown on the combined form template. So did you have another comment on that?
It means the same thing to us, right?
If we interpret that, yes. If we are using that language, we define that language and interpret that language, yes. It would the actual item will not change. It's just what term we're using to define it.
Well, I mean,
I think it's
traditionally, historically,
John, go ahead.
Historically, they were called course objectives.
they
And have just evolved into outcomes.
Yeah, there was confusion. There was a lot of confusion. I think we tried to solve some of that when we did the assessment projects and HLC was coming. And we have come upon this roadblock right now that we need to tackle. Go ahead,
I would
Sue.
just say I went back to old syllabus from 2004 and 5 when I started here. Course objectives was not even included on those forms. So we've never been using the same terminology ever. So this is a historical problem here at the college. And we could assume we actually used course goals at one point in time too. So we've been tossing these words around. And I know, as new theories come through in education, we switch our language, but all our forms should reference the same. And that makes it much easier, especially for new people coming or adjuncts. They know what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and to piggyback off of that and something you said, Julianne, this was one of the aspects of our assessment work that HLC dinged us on was shared vocabulary across the college. So in some ways, objectives, outcomes, they have similar definitions, but we're talking about this and we got a room of 20 of us and we don't know exactly what we're talking about. So that's fine. We're at where we're at. But I think we all recognize here in this committee and maybe in some of the other ones that, we just need to move forward on really solidifying that common vocabulary across the college. Again, I think it's kind of an academic culture issue. Like, what are we exactly talking about when we talk about this? And whatever we pick, in some ways it doesn't matter, but we just need to pick it and and know why we're picking it, and just have everyone on the same page, common language, and we just need to get there. Maybe right now isn't the time to do that, but as long as we keep this conversation going, I think we'll be in a better direction. And especially when adjuncts come on, or when new faculty come on, it's not good for them to hear 3 different terms from 3 different faculty members that work here, you know? They're going to be confused too. So I think it behooves everyone, just for us all, to get on the same page vocab-wise.
I agree. I agree. And that's why I think it's so important that all the committees work together and not just isolated. All right. I think we've kind of exhausted this unless someone has a pressing item that they would like to bring up regarding this. We will continue this conversation both via emails from myself with drafts and then at the May meeting. Tracy, did you want to say something? I saw your mic come on and off a few times.
Oh, I just wanted to say that I think that changing it as you proposed makes it clearer to students what you're talking about.
And that's the goal, make it easy for faculty, but also definitely comprehensible and something that students can use so that both the faculty and the students are happy. Okay, I have no other items. Does anyone have an announcement? We will continue the work on this. So I am going to make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 3:48, April 1st, 2021. Can I have a motion to approve? Second, thank you. And I will see you all soon. Thank you very much.
Who was first and second, please?
I guess it was me for first. Can I make the
Julianne was
motion?
first and Michael was second.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Juliana, can you stay on for a second?
I do.